I got stuck in India in 2020. I'd gone there for 6 weeks. Then COVID came. No flights in or out of India. So I was stuck in a hotel for 4 months. And I had time to think about a lot of things because I was all by myself. And that's when I discovered Bitcoin, blockchain technology. And I studied it. I learned a lot about it. And I bought my first Bitcoin in June 2020. And Becky, I need to be honest with you, and this is why I talk to young people. Now I'm mentoring a lot of young people. So what I do, I mentor a lot of young people. They come to my house, teach them what I know, I share knowledge with them. And what I remember vividly is buying this Bitcoin at $6,000, June 2020. November 2021, it was 69,000. So now, how is that possible? How is that possible? So I then really joined groups. I did subscribe. I paid their subscription fees to a lot of organizations, and I started delving into this. And then I realized this is where the world is going to. And when I teach youngsters, I show them they're quite funny what they call meme coins, like Trump. There's one called Trump MAGA. And I was showing these youngsters the other day. I said, look at it, because they give you the all-time low. It was like 1 cent. So if you bought $1 million, that's 10,000. And it went up to $17 after about 8 months, which means if you bought $1 million at 1 cent, and when it's $15, that's 15 million. In about 8 months, I said, this is crazy. So I teach a lot of youngsters, say, you know what? If you want to create wealth, you can do this in a very smart way, because all you need is knowledge and the internet.
But Doc, okay, coming to Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Of course, Bitcoin has been on top of news all over the world, we know, good and bad.
Yeah.
And there's been, I think there was that lady who ripped the whole world of a lot of money with her Bitcoin or whatever. Yeah. Would you recommend people to do Bitcoin when they can do regular business? Because there are risks involved, and also there's a trust element.
Yeah.
A lot of people who, there are so many coins.
Well, remember, Jenny, I got scammed too. Remember, it was all in
108,000.
Yeah. No.
It was more?
No. The initial theft was just under 500,000. And then
$500,000.
Yeah, yes.
Talk, this is casino with big money.
No.
Nah, she's in this casino. 500K?
And then later, another 100,000. Now, I'll tell you what. For my case, of course, is in the courts, but it's simple. I can tell you exactly what happened.
Yep.
The guy just stole my password.
So okay.
But see, he won't get away with it, because the beauty about cryptocurrencies, it can be traced to where the person cashed it in. But everything can be traced.
Doc, is it that simple? Because I know criminals prefer to get paid. Like when criminals hijack somebody or they take someone as a hostage, most of the time they talk about getting paid in Bitcoins because it's difficult to trace their identity, right? Or something. Am I correct, Nash?
Yeah.
You've heard the story, they don't want to be paid cash because cash can be traced. But Bitcoin, you can pretty much just be behind a wall on the internet.
Germany last week was selling Bitcoins which they'd confiscated. So it gets confiscated at some point. And the US, I was just listening this morning, they've got about 200,000 Bitcoins which have been confiscated. What happens is people do this. But see, most exchanges have the KYC, know your customer. So if you still, for the deal today, remember it goes on public ledger and it's immutable. In other words, you can't change it. So whatever deal we do today, the world knows straight away. And nobody can change it. So 6 months later, 10 years later, people can trace it. And they just have to get the KYC where the exchange was. And the people, see, like in my case, the Financial Intelligence Unit of the Reserve Bank were able to trace some of my stuff. So it's only a question of time before we wrap it up. So that's why I'm not even worried about it.
So Doc, you're saying if I have my $5,000, instead of me going to the market to buy my wares and sell on the street, I can invest 5,000 and then tomorrow I have 100,000.
No, not like that.
It doesn't sound right.
No, but what I can tell you, I know for a fact, and I can show it to you.
Yeah.
You could invest 5,000 and you end up with $1 million.
Can I give you 5,000? I have it in the
No, don't give it to me. With investments, what you need is education. And you must take responsibility for investments, so that when things go wrong, it's your responsibility, not my responsibility. The problem why people will get scammed is that somebody comes, give me 5,000, I'll make it 10,000 by next week, whatever, and you believe it. It's not true. It's not possible. What you need to do is you need to get educated about these investments, about blockchain technology, about Bitcoin and the other cryptocurrencies. Because I've spent time reading about this and doing this stuff. Once you understand that Bitcoin is limited, and you must remember how it started. When they had the financial crisis in 2008 and 2009 in the States, and I think Lehman Brothers went down, and other banks were going to go down, but the other banks were saved. Basically, what did they do? They were given money by the U.S. government, by the Federal Reserve. Where did they get the money? They printed it. Just like what we are doing in Zimbabwe, printing. So people don't realize that the US is also a fiat currency. They just print it. And people don't realize that of all the countries in the world, the country with the worst debt, 34 trillion, is the US. And they'll never be able to pay it off. But people don't realize this. So when you have the US, they don't think, I've got real money. No. Bitcoin is digital gold. And it's interesting now because, the biggest asset management company called BlackRock, they have about 10 trillion assets under management. They used to say, no, this is a scam. Look, this is intrinsic value. But now they're the ones who are at the forefront, and they're given these exchange traded funds. And all the big guys like Fidelity and them, they are all into Bitcoin now. And El Salvador, there's got this young guy, Nayib Bukele, the president. He made Bitcoin legal tender in El Salvador, and it is one of the poorest countries, so the worst crime rate. And everything has changed now, and everybody's trooping to El Salvador. You see, we as a country, Zimbabwe, with all these sanctions, if we just bought Bitcoin, and I advise people who invest even...
you make it sound so easy, if we just bought Bitcoin.
Yes. But it's going to go up.
But we've seen so many cases of scams. People getting scammed.
So I'm telling you, Danny, we get scammed because people don't have the information. If you have the education, what I've learned over the years, don't trust anyone with your investments. Be responsible.
Do it for yourself.
Yes.
So when you got but you said someone stole your password. It wasn't about
No, it was just straight theft. And as I say, we're tracing everything. You see, if you have the education, you know the cycles. We know when to get in, when to get out, and that's how people become very rich.
Yeah, but you see, I think for the good Dr. Becky, it's easy for him to take these gambles because he's worth a lot of money.
No, but he's worked his way to get that.
I know.
Money.
He has accumulated a lot of wealth over time.
Yeah.
He's 70, right? So now there comes Becky with her only $5,000.
Sure, but don't say only.
No, Jenny, let me correct you. There's an academy called Indreda's Academy. These are Zimbabweans in South Africa. These guys have made ordinary people security guards, nurses, ordinary people, millionaires in rands. People who put in 1,000 rand and end up with $1 million. And I said to them, guys, you are enriching South Africans. Why don't you come to Zimbabwe? And they've been here, and we come here, it's full house. Why do I talk about investments? Our problem as black people is poverty, and especially poverty of the mind. This is why, we get abused by other races. We're looking for aid, we're looking for that, we're looking for that. If we have our own wealth, nobody can push us around. Nobody can convince us to do that are not in our interests. And, I've got a few projects still that I'm doing. I'm right now building a school, an academy for kids. And the reason I decided to go to build this school is I just looked at our poverty as people. Because I was thinking all the time, how come Mumbai is 22 million people? Beijing is 23 million people. Shanghai is 29 million people. Delhi is 35 million. We are only 15, 16 million people. And we have diamonds, we have gold, we have platinum, lithium, all these minerals. And, more than 60 different minerals. And our soils, our climate can grow anything. Whether you want blueberries or strawberries. We got tea, cotton, we got coffee, sugar. But there's so much poverty. And my conclusion was that it's a mindset problem.
Let me hold you on that thought and take you back. I don't know how